Ouch. That was terrible. Sorry, 1 second. Sound off. Okay. Let's do this. All right, we're good. We're ready. Hi, everybody. This is Max Farrell. This is DexFXMarkets.com. This is the Traders webinar today, the 16th of May, 2019. We're at the end of the week, basically coming up for tomorrow. I wanted to kind of go over just a few things today. It's probably going to be a pretty short webinar today, so some of you should be raising your fist up and yay. But I want to talk about just a couple of things, and one of them is perception. The perception of what the market is compared to what trading is, and there's too many things that the market and Forex and the indices and all these things that are out there, there are so many things that can occupy your perception. And I'm going to give you an example here. And let's see if I can find here on this panel here that you see here. I'm going to go here. Yep, there it is. Okay. Now I want you as
you're not sharing anything, Max.
Oh yeah, I probably am not.
Okay,
It's been an off morning this morning. I do apologize. Hang on 1 second. Share. Here we go. Okay. So I want to show you some screens, and I need Thor and Paul to kind of answer from your side, but not first. I want you to look at this here real quick. Let's see if I can expand this out. And we're going to do up to 100. Okay. I'm going to bring the screen back up here. Come on. Okay. So if you were brand new and you were coming here and you were looking at the signals, and you see green means what? It means a win, right? And you look at the percentage rates, and then you see these two. Then you keep going and you see another one, another blue one. This is 100 signals, right? 100 signals that came over. 1, 2, 3. 3 losses out of 100. What's that ratio? 97%, right? 97? Yeah, 97%. Your perception of this is, oh, this is all great, right? You've probably all heard the story about the little boy who was walking down the beach. He's picking up a starfish. There's hundreds of thousands of starfishes on the beach, and he's picking one up and he's chucking it in the ocean. Old man comes up to him and goes, "What are you doing, boy?" He goes, "Throwing starfishes back in the ocean." He goes, "Look how many there are. There's thousands of them." He goes, "You can't possibly get to them all." And he goes, "How do you expect to make a difference?" He goes, "Well, to that starfish I just threw in, I made all the difference." Works the same here in the reverse. Your perception is, this is all great. I'm in. But what happens if this was your first one, the USD? What happens if the very first trade you get in, you were practicing, you were watching all this stuff happen in between here, and then all of a sudden you get in and you're like, the USD JPY is my trade to be in. And you got in. And what happened? You lost. Where's your perception at? Your perception is like, man, these things don't work. I had a client yesterday. He wrote me in the chat, and he goes, a couple of things, and I don't know how far down this hole I could go with perception, but I'm going to attempt to do this in a very independent way. Okay, I don't mix politics and business. It's bad form. I don't mix religion and politics either. But the whole thing that was said yesterday was that Trump came out and he spoke about the market and it crushed the market, or it broke the market, or I lost my trade because the USD JPY was doing well for a long time, and then all of a sudden it failed because Trump came out and talked about the market. And he's right. Trump did come out and talk about the market, and it ruined his trade. Apparently, in his eyes, it ruined his trade. But what did Trump actually do yesterday? He boistered a couple of statements and he came out, and the USD went from plummeting to recovering. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
And what that means is that the USD went up, right? This was a sell trade. So what happens when the USD increases? Because it's the base pair, right? It goes up. Now that's only in some cases. On some other cases, like the Euro USD, it didn't fail because it was in a buy. See, it was the opposite. It was the polar opposite of that trade. Did it fail? No. Certain circumstances happened prior to this that added to the USD and Audi JPY's demise yesterday in that little hit there, only because there was a lot of pre-news happening that affected those two pairs. But his idea of perception was Trump screwed my trades. We try to find reasons when losses happen. But what's the best way to look at a trade when it loses and it wins? One, did you do anything wrong? Right? Did you get in when you weren't supposed to? Did you get the right price? And if you did, there's no other explanation of it. His next question to me was simple. How do I fix that? And when I asked him, how do you fix what? And he goes, the loss that I had there. I said, you keep trading. How do I make that money back that I just lost? Well, did you just start? Yeah, I started last week. How many demo trades did you do? Oh, none. I just went right live. Again, a matter of perception. We think that we already know because we've seen or we've done, but we really don't know until we do. I know that sounds very Zen-esque, but it's true. Until you get in there and start training and working them and learning them, you don't know what's going to happen. Even once you do, even once you really get into something, you still you're still going to have losses. You're still going to take hits. You're still going to have days to where you're thinking, is this right for me, or what have you? We talked a little bit yesterday about the timing of your trading, as far as when you first get in, what do you do? What's the second thing you do? What is the next thing you do? And we tried to find a flow for those people that are just starting out, just being brand new. What would you do when you first get here? Getting into dailies and then intradays and then learning TNTs and all that kind of stuff. First thing you need to do is to prepare yourself for something that you don't know. And how do you do that? By getting in and practicing. One thing we didn't cover yesterday that I think that we should cover a little bit today is that if you begin to trade, you should track everything. We covered it a little bit. I think Paul covered it a lot in his side. I may be mistaken. He may have covered it in his side.
I mentioned about keeping journals and that, so you can track.
I think Thor did as well. But the idea of tracking a journal and why do we do it, is not just the simple impulse that, oh, okay, I want to make sure I'm doing everything right. But you can begin to track things like certain trends. Like if you have enough data, this is how this started. You understand? This is how all these started. Back in the day, we used to take trades and I used to copy them and send them over to Amy and she used to put them into a spreadsheet. And there was even times where we hand wrote stuff. I don't know if Brian's on the phone right now. I think he can probably attest to that. A few days with some composition books as we were writing trades down. We didn't have the wherewithal and the thoughts to do some of the stuff that we do today. There he is. You come out. Our concepts for teaching ourselves how to trade and where we're at with trading come down to learning how to be more open-minded in our perspective. To not just trade for a day or two and go, man, this thing doesn't work. We used to get this one statement all the time. Well, man, when your signal came out, it was way into the market. There's no way I could get onto it. Okay. The idea of trading is about being patient, being deliberate in your actions, finding the proper flow. And I used to say this to everybody. If this filled 30% of the time, This just filled 30% of the time. When it does fill, you got a 97% success rate average. Right? You can always see that by going down here. 96.1 lifetime average for the system. Right? 96.1% for the lifetime, 28,000 signals come over. And actually, there's probably a lot, there's probably almost double this because we had to reset the database about 3 years ago. I don't know if you guys remember that. We had a big issue with a small-time hacker. The idea here was if they filled 30% of the time, winning 90% of those, 97% of those, why do these matter? Why do you try to fix that? Just go in, and then Victor and I were talking this morning, and he's like, I joined you in January 2018, and I didn't start trading dailies to almost the following year, or almost close to the end of the year, because he wanted to see it working. We have a co-founder who came in, and he's like, I need to see that the step bot does 12%. I'm kind of throwing people under the bus. We have another founder that said the same thing. You know, I'm waiting to see if it works. What is the idea of it works? What does that mean to you if it works? What proofs do you need to find if it works? You need somebody else to tell you it works, or then you don't know if it works. Did you get in and do it? Did you get in and follow it? Did you get in and work it? No. If you didn't, then you'll never know if it works. Did you go do the trades on the dailies? Did you try the ATMs? Did you go through all the training? We talked about this yesterday, going through the training. If you didn't go through the training, you went, oh, Max, I don't got time to sit down and watch a whole bunch of videos. Then you don't have time to trade, and then you might as well just keep moving on down the road to find something else. Go sell hot dogs. The concept here is that you have to get in and do. And where is that at? Where is getting in and doing in your line of your flow to get to your goal? Where is that at for you? I think most of us forget that in order to find that goal, we have to create that consistency. We always say this, you got to find the consistency. It's not backwards. You don't go, oh, I want to make $10,000 a month, and it just miraculously appears. That is not how the law of attraction works. You can say it all you want. But one thing a lot of people forget is that you have to have action. And that action cannot be subject to a microverse of time. You have to put time in. The amount of time that you put in is really personal. It's never the same for everybody. Mine could be a day, yours could be a year. Your concepts of what your goal is, the bigger your goal, guess what, folks? The more time. And you need to offshoot sometimes. Like we talk about consistency plus volume. Your volume may be different than the person standing next to you. Your volume might be, oh, I have $10,000 extra capital. The person next to you might be, I had to go collect tin cans or aluminum cans to make it work. Everybody has their own value of what their volume is, their consistency. Every variable in this world of trading is different for every single person. How do you find it for yourself? Is that you have to begin somewhere. We talked about this yesterday. If you're learning this trade, it's dailies. But the balance here is to get dailies, or if you're learning to be a trader, but also be an investor. I'm going to tell everybody this today, and I'm going to say it every single webinar we do. They say the first thing to do is to get the daily signals and start learning that. No, the first thing you do is to go prepare yourself and prepare your accounts to become an investor in the system. Get the step bot up, get it working today. Find your 2K, find your 1K, whatever it is, okay, and get it started immediately. Learn the demo side of it, get this process going. This is where the money really is for the long term. You can practice and figure stuff out by doing all the training and doing daily signals, but if you don't have a step bot running, then you are not serious about your goal. If your goal is 3K a month, how do you get there? You get there by simply applying our already founded consistency, right? And if already founding consistency is sitting at 12% average a month. Now, this is over 1 year. We look at the percentage rate for the year, right? So the year for 1 year would have to be at least 144% to average out, 12 times 12, 144. Got math? Great. How did we come up with this if we've only been doing it live for 2 years? Because we have 17 years worth of back data. 17 years. Why not 18? Why not 25? Well, because there's a certain amount of restrictions you get after a certain period of time, and you have to make sure the data is real, okay? Because you can buy fake data. So this is as far as back as I could make it. We could have went 20, but I didn't really touch the other 3 years because it came from a different source. But 17 years of data, the worst year was 144%. Probably asking, why would you do that, Max? Why would you put it down to the worst? Why not tell us the best? Yeah, over 300% for a year. Yeah, the best year was 300+%. So the idea is to tell you what the worst is because that's what you can anticipate at the worst happen. Now, what happens if a new low comes and there's 11%? Watch it be this year. It's going to make me look like a fool, right? 11% average. And if it does, you know what? You can kiss my ass.
I was just going to say, if anybody complains about 11%, they better not let me know where their address is.
Right? Because at 11 fucking percent per month, right? Even if it got to 10% per month, you just made 100% on your money, 120% on your money over the year. Yeah. Right?
Just to jump in here real quick for 1 second. I got a credit card offer yesterday or something. It was a Citibank. They want me to put money in some fund they created. 2.6% annual.
Yeah. Yeah. They want you to put the money into 2.6% for the year.
Right.
It doesn't and then charge you $45 fee.
Probably. I didn't read the fine print. I just shredded it.
Right.
No matter what, it's not even inflation.
And speaking with this, I'll get back into the goal thing, and we'll talk about that here in a second too. The idea of your goal, if you're going to get 3K, and let's just say you were going to do 12%, how much money do you need in your account every month to generate this? If you don't want it to grow, if you don't want to you're just looking for income to make 3K a month, okay? It doesn't take very much. Okay. 30K may seem like a lot, right? I think it's like 25K to make about $3,000 right in that area, right? So if you had to get it to 25K, you look at it, how long does it take if I started with $1,000 to get to there? If this took 2 years, would that be acceptable to you? This is how you formulate your goal, right? It takes time. Now, if it takes 2 years for 1,000, it doesn't mean it's only going to take a year for 2, right? It's probably even shorter. But if you start out, if you build up that balance, you build up the balance to get to that point to where you're trying to get to this goal. You can't get there by sitting on the porch going, I wonder if I'm going to win the lottery. Well, you got to play. Well, no, I just want to sit here on the porch and hopefully a ticket will flow down from the sky and land on my forehead and it'll have to be winning. It doesn't happen. It'll never happen. Good fortune can come to those who wait, but I haven't met one yet that can keep it. I want you to fight. Fight yourself. Fight all the naysayers in your life that go, that can't be real. That's all BS. It sounds too good to be true. I have a client. We play on a game server together, right? We play this game. We talk back and forth. We go onto a special Discord group or a communication network, and we're bantering back and forth. We're joking around. He goes, "What do you do, Max?" And I tell him what I do. And this is over a period of like 2 months. So he finds my Facebook profile and he sees the name, the Dex FX Markets, and he starts going into researching me and what we do and how we do everything. He buys into the system, and he's 19 years old. And in the back end of his microphone, his dad comes in and he goes, I need to speak to you. And, he just starts rambling. I mean, literally starts rambling. It's like my good fortune, I think, like he's like, I heard that you were getting into this trading thing, but let me send you this link on this process that how all Forex people are scammers and how many scammers are in the network. And he goes, Dad, I got it covered. He goes, no. This Max guy's got to be a scammer. And he's like, Dad, he's on the headphones. And the headphones went quiet. Now, this is a dad that's coming in to protect his kid. And when this kid came back on board, he goes, man, my dad just kind of laid it in on me saying you're a scammer. He goes, I'm really sorry. He's like, don't be sorry. He's absolutely right. No, not that I'm a scammer, but he's absolutely right to think that, because that's what this industry has become. It's become that process that you think you're going to be able to make it work, and you're out there in the world, you're trying to figure it out, and all of a sudden you meet somebody who's like, hey, I'm going to help you. You got an ailment, I can fix it. You need money, I can make that work. And you want it to work so much that you take $1,000 and you go, you know what, this $1,000, that means a lot to me, and I need to make, it's going to pay for my rent. But if I can turn this into $10,000, like that guy's saying, in a month, it's worth it. And you give it to them, and they prey on that. They preyed on it with me. They preyed on it with other people that I was involved in. This industry has sucked the life out of so many people that I've met. And to listen to the stories about how they trade and what they do. Somebody said to me the other day, if this system works so great for you with Step Up, why are you selling it? Why are you out there in the world? Why not just go make money doing this? And they're absolutely right. Why am I doing it? Because we do know that we can't let this industry be this way. We have to change it, and we change it by getting in and being involved and being the right people in this industry. Because when I got ripped off, man, I went to a bad place. And how do you change the world? How do you change your world? You have to sit and figure out what it is that you really want from it, and then just do it. No excuses. No lame, oh, well, I'm going to wait to see if everybody else catches on fire first before I get in. I understand that it's tough. It's tough to sort through all the BS that's out there. But with the StepBot, you better be in it. That's my biggest thing for you. This was supposed to be a trading webinar and maybe mental today, but I'm gonna end with this sort of format. And then we'll open this up to questions, and even trading questions, anything you got. Is that if you find yourself doubting what you're doing at this moment, it's because you don't have the knowledge. You're ignorant, basically. You don't have the experience, and you need to find the experience. How do you find it? Training. How do you confirm it? By doing it, not by listening to somebody else talk about it. Get in there and do it. And if you're not doing it correctly and everybody else around you is, then ask questions. Do a consult. There's nothing here in the world that I've ever seen that has this particular setup to where you can come in and learn and train, follow other people who are doing it as well, consult with the owner, the person who built it, and the other people around him. And not some gimmicky, oh, well, he only met with me once. I'll meet you as many times as you need. How many of you personally have called me? If you're watching this, you can answer on the thing. How many personally have called me and talked to me on the phone, or talked to one of us on the phone, or met with us in a chat room, or answered questions in the system? Probably everybody here.
Countless times.
Countless times. There's a time that me and Thor and Paul probably talk to each other every single day. I know we hear each other's voice at least 3 times a week.
4. Well, 3, since you've taken Wednesdays off.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, apparently not. Right.
That was just a guest appearance,
It was a
guest star today.
Yeah, my wife let me have both barrels yesterday, that's for sure. She says, you sure you need one to turn around? Just let them fall. I was like, yeah, but can't do that to everybody else. All right, so let's talk about the goal process just for a final second here and recap. If you're going to plan to trade for a long period of time, there has to be a segment to where you have to, when you're getting into the step bot, that starts your platform to start going. That's a set and forget. That's just put it on, let it go, let's do its thing. There's no major work to do it. You have to maintenance it once every $1,000, but that's it, right? Everything else is in between. Okay, so set your goal, figure what that is, figure out how everything else will marginalize into that, and then begin. If you find yourself sucking at trading, then take that margin out and just stay with the bot doing its thing. It says there have been at least 8 times I have one-on-one chats with Matt. Yeah, well, with Ed, it's even bigger. You know, there's a lot of stuff that him and I talk about too, so it's pretty cool. And that's just for the trading side. You know, if you have an understanding that why do I do that, it's because I'm asking you to believe in me. And I want you to be in that proper spot. And sometimes that you just can't do that via a text or an email. In fact, it's probably so impersonal doing text or email. It's not even funny. And I get to know who you are. I get to know where your style's at. And that helps other traders as well. Because I can hear how you talk, somebody else talks that way. I can immediately know where they're kind of going and help them fix that. When you talk to me about the problems and the woes that you have with trading or trying to figure stuff out, I learn from you. So it's a little bit selfish too. I'm trying to learn from you as you're trying to learn from me. We had a client just recently. I rarely will ever get pissed off really at anything, right? I'm not a really aggro kind of guy anymore like I used to be in my youth. But this client kind of pushed some buttons. And I used to say this all the time, that if someone pisses me off, it's a learning opportunity for me. It's how I learn how to deal with another person in the world that sort of goes against who I am, and I get to learn from them. And that's basically the lesson that you have to learn here today with trading. You have to go outside of your normal box than you normally would be in. Don't come in here with any, predetermined values. If you were out there, oh, I was with the signals company once and they used to send me signals every day. You should say, oh, send me signals too. I don't want to sit at my computer all day long. You can make all these statements, what you think it should be. But until it becomes that for you, you have to learn how to make that. You got to get in and just do it. Sorry, Nike, I'm stealing it. You just got to do it. That's what's going to make it happen for you. So that's with everything. The step bot, trading, everything. Find what works and do it until it becomes consistent. Then you add your volume, and then you're in your goal. Only at this point. Now, the fun thing about getting to a goal, once you complete this algorithm, how easy is it to repeat it? Very. Once you do it, there's no going back because then it works. You are then full of success. This is success. This is the true indicator of success. It isn't the goal, it isn't the volume, and it isn't the consistency. It's the whole thing together. Once you complete this, once you are able to do it one time, you could do it 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And you could do it with anything at this point. Does that make sense? All right. As of right now, any questions? You come out and ask as many questions as you need.
No, I would like to point out and just reiterate what you said, is that no matter what people are doing, when you talk about people sitting there and watching and asking, it's actions that equal results. Simple.
Absolutely.
As. Without actions, it doesn't matter what the results are, but without action, you're never going to get your results, any result. That's it. Just my bit of wisdom for the day.
No worries. Your actions do get results. And I think where a lot of people forget is that you are in charge of everything that you do. And if the signal sends you wrong, if you look at this and go, this is Trump's fault, or if it's your fault, or the sun got in my eyes, whatever that excuse is, you own it. It's your excuse. It's your thing. It's your opinion. You deal with it. But the moment you go, Max, you got to fix this. You got to fix this because my opinion says that was Trump and you got to go fix Trump. Sorry, that's your opinion. It's not mine. And even if it was my opinion, what am I going to fix on somebody else's voice? We created a system with the step bot, and the step bot does something that no other bot I've ever seen does. And why is that? Why have I built something that nobody else has ever seen before? Because nothing else fucking works.
Yeah, remember,
that's why we built it.
Remember that you're never a failure until you blame someone else.
Right. I like that statement.
Hey, Max.
Yeah.
This, Chris. The other thing with the step bot for the C plus V equals G is that's 250 days a year. So if you think about it, can you possibly trade 250 days a year with consistency without life coming in and appointments and everything else?
Oh,
so
yeah.
That step bot definitely provides that consistency for anyone, really.
Right. There is there's something that when I was first learning how to trade, I asked a mentor, and I said, how do you do it, man? I said, I see you in trading, 4 or 5 times a day. You're in working on. He goes, I do it. I've got a lot of experience trading, and I know how to marginalize myself and my time and everything else. And I was like, how's your health? And he goes, terrible, man. I drink too much coffee. I'm overweight. I'm like, okay, well, you sacrifice then, right? You sacrifice time and energy and all that stuff. And he goes, yeah, I do. But it's everything. That's what you got to do with everything. You got to sacrifice to make something. And it made sense to me because he was saying it, and he has done it. I've sacrificed. I sacrificed 5 years of my life building this to the level I have to learn all the mistakes, to do all that stuff, so I wouldn't have to later on. Why would you come in and sacrifice your time and your hurtfulness, to try to do the same thing I'm doing that I've already done? Why not take advantage of what I have done and what Paul and Thor have contributed to, and Chris and Brian and Amy and Vivian and all of us have contributed to benefit from this as well? That would be like saying, hey, I just watched you cross the street of flames, and I'm going to do the same exact thing. Yeah, you got hit by 2 cars, but you got to the other side. But I think I want to get hit by 2 cars too. No, that's why we put the crosswalk in. We put a sign up. That was a bad analogy, but still, get the point. Your concept in learning how to trade, that's great. If your idea of learning how to trade is like, Max, I've always wanted to be a trader, and this is what I want to do, I think it's pretty cool. Or I want to make a business and I want to be a trader, and I think this is awesome, and I love manipulating the markets and playing with money and doing all that stuff. Yay for me. If you're saying to yourself, I just want to be an investor, and that's, well, I just want to make money, I want to get away from my other job, I want to make money, then you may be rethinking the trading side. I did. And again, Chris is probably like, Max, stop saying you don't like trading. I've said this for years. When people used to ask me, Max, why are you so good at 5-minute trades? I said, because I hate them. I hate them. They make me sick to my stomach. They're a condition of the market that a lot of people float to, is to do 5-minute trades, and I despise them. But why did you make such a good system, Max? Because I hate them. To make them easier, so I don't have to hate them. Can I do them? Yes, very, very well. There's other people in this industry that can do them well as well. Mike Ficca is one of them. Freaking superstar when it comes to 5-minute trades. Holy crap. Has like a impulse with him. Better than I am. But they have their cost. They have a lot of heartache. They have a lot of pain. They win. They lose last second. They lose micro pips. It's all of it. Everything is that way. If you're going to be here and be a trader, you have to be an investor too. I demand it. I would not allow you to come into this without the availability of having that step bot. Now, if you bought the Nadex package, if you're watching this after the fact, what have you, you can go get it for $97, right? $97 you can get it. What's that $97 to you compared to your goal? If you spend, and here's the joke, it's the same thing with the step bot, right? If you come on board, and we were talking about this yesterday with Thor saying loss, but let's just say I tell you, I'm going to give you $300 a month or $3,000 a month. not give you, but let's say you're going to earn this, right? But in order to do that, you have to pay for all the things that get you to 3K, right? If you get 3K and it costs you 300 to get to 3K, is that worth it? It's $2,700 profit, right? Is this worth it? If you did that and got you this, is this worth it? And if there's any one of you that say no, then you may want to rethink being here. Because when you say this, here's the problem, right? When I say, let me do this. I say, give me $300. You go, why? Because I want to give you 3,000. And you go, prove it, right? Prove it. Prove you're going to give me $3,000. Okay, but you got to give me 300. Well, I don't want to give you 300, so you prove that you can give me 3,000. That's not how it works. And it's the same thing you got to say to yourself. You're going to take this time, you're going to be doing the work, and you can't be asking yourself, all right, I got to prove it today. You in doing it proves it. You in working it proves it. Now, what happens at the end of 1 month, you don't figure it out. Maybe it doesn't work for you. Maybe you just don't have the time. I hear that so many times. Max, I really don't have the time to trade. Well, then be in a step bot.
Okay.
Stop faking yourself out. Stop thinking that there's going to be another rainbow on the other side of somebody else's grass that's greener. You know why the grass is always greener on somebody else's lawn? Because they take care of it. Yeah, it's fake, right? It's AstroTurf, right, Paul? Okay. 99.9% of the time, Paul's correct, but the 0.01% that he's not correct in is that's because somebody else is taking care of that lawn. We are the worst at looking at ourselves going, man, I could do that, but I have all this problems that I can't do it. You have to figure it out for me. One of our exit interviews when people leave us, and they do, 30% of them come back within 1 month. 60% of them come back after 4 months. But that percentage of people that leave, when we ask them, why are you leaving? They go, well, because I don't really got a lot of time to trade. Okay, so you don't have time to trade. Use a step bot. Yeah, but I don't know if that's going to work for me. Why won't it work for you? Well, because I don't know if it's real. You don't know if it's real. Okay. What do you need to see that it's real? That it can make me $3,000. Well, then you got to go put money in the account. Well, I don't have that money yet. There's always an answer. You want to see if it's real? Would you guys like to see if it's real? Who here thinks it's not real? What this is that you're seeing in front of you right now is the dashboard of only one of the systems. This has about 28 systems in it. The other has 40. That's about 68 systems, 68 accounts, if you will. If you look at the demo accounts here, you'll see some that say demo and see some that say live. This experiment. I try not to tell people to put their last name up here, so I apologize. I don't think I'll be able to grade that out. It's too late. But the idea here is this is just today, right? This is the week. You can kind of see the week. Does anybody see any negatives up there? Yeah, negatives. No negatives, right? And before you're off the leg saying, oh, Max, those are all demos. No, there's some live ones. There's another live one right there. I mean, $2.14 today. He is busting at the gills with profit. That's not a lot of profit, but he only started with 2,000 and he just started today. Thor, I see your name up there.
Got a few winners this morning.
Got a few.
Winner and another one in progress.
Another one in progress, coming back on. We got a stepbrother that's sticking around for a while, but oh well. One of my favorite ones. This one right here. Poof, look at this guy. Look at this guy. $84 this morning. That's some money. That's some money. Wait, where's mine? Oh, there's mine. Just so you know, I'm not just the chef who yells, oh, come eat my food. I also eat in my own restaurant. Why? Because I made $65.90 this morning. I only got $4,400 sitting in that one. Right? I have other ones on the other system. I can't show you because those are corporates. But I can show you all these because I didn't put any corporate ones in here. I'm allowed to show you those because, whatever. There's no other corporate ones in here, and there's no futures or indices or anything else. And then all future results may vary. Stupid lawyers. Look at this. The most it made in, for one person is that one I was showing you is 80 something bucks, 84 bucks. But people who just started out trading in demo trying to figure stuff out, there's Victor's one, there's a pretty good one too, 47 bucks, not bad. You know, and this is, and look at the week. I mean, some of it just started out for the week, but this is money that you wouldn't have had, right? You know, this is stuff that, you know, look at that, $495, $500 for the week, $10,000. So that's what, 1%, 0.5%, whatever, today, just today. So not bad. Now, what do you need to see? How long do you need to go before you see if it works altogether, right? Pretty impressive. Thanks, Mike Ficca. Speaking of the devil. How far do you need to see? Where do you need to go? How far do you need for it to go back for you to do it, to get involved, start making it happen? Stop effing around. You know, how far does it need to go back? To your childhood? You know? Max, you got a loss in there. Yeah, this was manual. This was a screw up. There was a manual issue. You have to begin to ask yourself, what am I missing? Oh, Max, look how many trades you got on. This is crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. But no. It's how it works. This is how it works. And it does work. All right. Any questions? I hope not. You're probably going to be asking yourself, Max, when are you going to get back to trading? I want to do a series for the TNT strategy series, and I want to start that next week. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm sitting down with Thor sometime today or tomorrow, or even just beginning of next week, and we want to talk about the news and trading the iron condors. You know, it's a big passive thing, you know, when you're not trading, when you see through the week when to not trade news. You could also be putting down when to trade news. And we want to put out something on how to do that. And it's pretty lucrative, right?
Yes, when it wins, but when it loses small. And when it wins, it can win majorly.
Well, don't you just love that concept? They call that risk to reward positive. Right. Nadex is so hard to be positive on risk to reward. It is so hard. You'll rarely ever find a 50-50 chance. And if you do, they win so small and they lose so small, but they rarely, when they do win, they win big, but it's so far and few between, like with binaries or even like spreads. But when you pull an iron condor and a spread, trading the news, you can actually win pretty good. But you got to be precise. You have to be disciplined. You can't just go, yeah, well, that's kind of close what I was going to do, but you know, it doesn't fit exactly. Let me just do it anyway. You can't be doing that kind of nonsense. You will lose your ass. Okay. All right. So we're going to try to do next week. I'm trying to pick some times when I don't have consults that I'll be in trading. I might be doing either a live, you know, Zoom webinar during the mid-afternoon when I'm trading. But I'm going to see, I'm trying to find some other traders who are good at trading the TNT also to come on board to trade with me or to negotiate that part, maybe even take over a series of trading from that side so I can go build some of these other things. All right. If anybody else has any questions or anything else to add, anybody on the panel? No, nobody, anybody?
No, I'm good. I think I had my say yesterday.
Good. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for being here. We're ending a little early today. Not too early, but still early enough. You have a great day. If you're a co-founder, welcome aboard. If you're not a co-founder and you want to become one, $1,000 will get you lifetime subscription to the network, plus the profit pool, which is actually doing pretty damn good, which I'm not allowed to show you, right? I'm not allowed to show you the profit pools. You know, but we found out from the attorneys yesterday, I can't show profit pools only to the people that are in that co-founder group. We'll get that once a month. You'll find out exactly how much it's doing and how well it's doing, and that we're on track. But we are definitely on track for each one of those founders pools, as well as co-founder pools and the owners pool. I can't show you either, but we can definitely tell you we're on track for that 12%. For money that's in there. So it's pretty powerful. I can't wait to have those meetings as well. You have a great weekend. Stay frosty, I guess. Have fun. And as always, trade well. I'm Max Farrell. This is DexFXMarkets.com. We'll see you next time.